And the next campaign, also launched on the 19th, is called Explorers of the Woodlands, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 45 to 60 minutes to play. And this is a cooperative adventure game where each player is going to be controlling their own asymmetrical character with its own unique stats and battle dice, and players will be able to gain items to upgrade their characters throughout the game. But the way that this game plays is that at the start of the game, players will be shuffling a deck of location cards, then you're going to be shuffling a final boss into the bottom portion of that deck. Depending on the adventure you're playing as, there might be a specific boss that you go up against, or if you're just playing a one-shot scenario, then you can just randomly select a boss from the deck and then add it to your game. And the game's going to play over a series of rounds until you eventually reach that boss tile, and then you engage in the final battle. Each round has 2 phases, and the first phase is the exploration phase. And during this phase, all players are going to draw a tile from the location deck and then place it anywhere on the board where it can fit together with another tile. Tiles can also have different dangers and traps with random effects if the player moves into them, and there's also a few different special tiles like a merchant that allows players to upgrade their character with new items, a water well where players can earn resources, or portals that allow players to move across the board. The next phase is the adventure phase, where all players will roll their hero dice simultaneously and then assign their individual dice to their player boards to perform different actions. This will allow players to perform different actions like movement, avoiding traps, collecting resources that they can spend to unlock special abilities, or boost attacks when they go into battle. If players enter a tile with a monster, then they can attack that monster by rolling their attack dice, and all players start with 1 standard attack die, but they can unlock more throughout the game or spend resources to re-roll their dice. The monster is represented by the smaller tile that has a few different icons on it, and that's going to let you know the power of that monster and their defense, and what you have to roll in order to defeat them, and if they have any weaknesses or strengths. Once players discover that final boss tile, then the boss is going to enter the game, and the boss behaves just like all the other monsters with a couple exceptions. Each boss has 6 different abilities, and each time a player gets into battle with the boss, they're going to roll a die, and that's going to dictate which one of those abilities activates. On top of their higher strength and defense, this will add another challenge for the players. But each boss also has a threat gauge that's going to increase periodically, and if that gauge ever reaches the max, then the boss wins and the players lose the game. So there is a sort of timer that gets activated that players will have to race against. If a player loses all their health, they don't actually get eliminated from the game. Instead, they just get knocked over, and another player will have to spend resources or health items to revive that player. But if all players get knocked out or the boss's threat gauge reaches the max, then all players lose the game.